Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome back to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia, and I love all things affordable fashion and beauty. And here on my channel, I love to do hauls, reviews, tutorials on just affordable, either makeup, fashion, style, sometimes a little bit higher end, definitely indie brands, but it's all about how you can get it affordably. But I also have been enjoying doing some things like decluttering videos or empties as well to tell you if I think you should pass on something and not purchase something. So today I have a massive decluttering video, and I'm going to try to go through this super quickly because there's a lot to get to here and I don't want this to be an hour long. So if you want to see things I've decided are going to leave my collection, whether they are just expired or I decided I didn't like them, then stay tuned and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with palettes because I think that's one thing that people really enjoy, seeing if people think that they're worth it, not worth it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start there. This is a Kiko Milano Tuscan Sunrise palette. I believe this is, I don't think this is available anymore. It may be, but it was one of their collections from a couple of years ago. You had a couple of highlights and blushes in here. I actually don't think this is bad. I used it several times. I have a lot of face palettes going on in my collection right now, and I just had to make a choice, and I decided to let it go because the highlighter in there is pretty lackluster. I mean, it looks decent on there, but I have better ones, so that is why I'm getting rid of this. It was not terrible, just gonna let it go. This one is the Profusion Afternoon Tea. I actually don't think I used this palette. Okay, I actually love Profusion eyeshadows. Their 10 pans, or is it 8 pans? 10 pans, I believe, are incredible. I think I have 7 of them. They cost $5. They're better than some of my high-end makeup. Their bigger ones are kind of hit or miss. And honestly, I think I just was in a like crazy buying mode when I bought this a year ago. I think I got it in their Memorial Day sale. And it's pretty. It does have 3 pressed glitters in here, which I don't use that often. I like these tones. I mean, it's not a bad looking palette. I just have so many. I have 400 palettes about in my collection right now, 400. So I decided I was just going to let this one go. Next up, we have a Pacifica little 5-pan here. Actually, you guys, their larger palettes that are kind of rectangular are incredible. They are very underrated. But this one in particular, I swatched and it just, I don't know. It just didn't do a whole lot for me. Not terrible, but definitely not the best. So that is why I'm letting it go. But definitely check out those bigger palettes. They are really good. Okay, so these 3 here, I bought on a whim off of Walmart. They are dupes for Huda Beauty. As you can see, I thought that they looked really pretty and promising, but you guys, there's a reason why they are a dupe and not the real thing. They just, I mean, don't show up real well. This one actually looks pretty pigmented and it felt really soft just now, but the shimmers were very chalky and like, no. It's like, I'm not going, I mean, it was a gamble. I think that they cost like $6 each, but I'm just gonna let them go. I'd rather just get the real deal and good quality. I mean, cheap and dupes don't always mean, you know, that they're gonna work out, but sometimes they do. Those did not. This is the Amoris USA Hey Babe palette. I actually think this is really pretty. I have not used it. I have a couple of other their palettes that are a little bit prettier color stories, in my opinion. This one is a very warm toned palette and the cover's still on it. So I don't want to take it off in case somebody wants it, but I don't know. I was really going crazy buying a year ago and I got it and I haven't used it. And I thought if I haven't used it and I have other palettes in my collection that I love that are the same color story, I'm just gonna let this one go to someone else that could use it better than me. Next, we have the Golden Hour. This is from, gosh, why can I not think of the brand? They are, gosh darn, I cannot think of the brand right now. They are an MLM. I did not sign up for the MLM. I had someone reach out to me and they're like, I was like, you know what? I'll try, like send it. I'll try it. This was not bad. Actually, I wish I could, it does not say the name of the brand on here. Oh, Alouette Cosmetics, Alouette. So I used this several times. I thought this was a cool concept. It's just a little bit difficult to open. This gets like tricky, but you have a bronzer and really cool tone blush down here. And then you have this little eyeshadow palette. I mean, really great for traveling. I thought that was a neat idea, but it is very heavy. I mean, like really heavy. And I just wasn't gonna use it enough to justify keeping it. I knew I wasn't gonna sign up to sell the brand, so I'm letting it go. Then we have a Kiko Milano Glamour Multi-Finish Eyeshadow Palette. They came out with several of these little bitty 9 pans. I decided to keep one that's more of a teal green cool color story and let this one go. Some of Kiko Milano's eyeshadows are fantastic. They're Lost in Amalfi collection. Dive into the Deep Blue Sea. That is a beautiful palette. It is so pigmented. The shimmers are gorgeous in it. This one was a little bit more dry. The shimmers didn't perform that well, so that's why I'm letting this one go. Then we have the House Laboratories Glam Room Fame palette. This was the very first palette that they came out with. You guys, House Labs is one of my favorite brands, actually. It is a very underrated brand. Their blushes, highlighter, bronzer duos, absolutely top notch. Their Lariat lip glosses are amazing, but this first eyeshadow palette, it just didn't perform that well. I know they reformulated. They are now rebranding. They're gonna be sold in Sephora. So I'm really excited to see what they come out with. But this one, I can't justify keeping it because I know I'm never gonna use it. Then we have a Milani palette. This is their Gilded Violet palette. Actually, I used this a lot back in the day and it's not bad. I really gravitated towards Milani before I got really into makeup. I still love Milani for cheek products, lip products. I even like their pastel palette that came out, the Flora palette. And I used to pretty much only use Milani eyeshadows. That's all I really knew. And they're not bad. They're really not. I've had this for several years. That's kind of why I'm letting it go. I mean, the shimmers in here are really pretty, especially this bottom one. And then this is like an icy, like purpley one. So this wasn't bad. It's just, it's expired. I just need to let it go. Okay, this is the Free Eye palette. This is another brand. I'm gonna have a hard time remembering. Starts with an L. Look, it looks like it's gorgeous, right? I mean, like this looks like a beautiful pastel palette, actually. It just doesn't, the pigment's just not quite there. I mean, this purple barely shows up. I won this in a giveaway when I was first on Instagram. It is a, gosh, I cannot remember the brand again. You guys, I'm a terrible YouTuber, but it's a brand that is sold on Amazon. It's very inexpensive. They do some dupes and it just doesn't perform that well. So I'm letting it go. Toby C Cosmetics. This is another affordable brand. They do have, I believe, on Amazon. And I have some lip products that I really love. Small business, but here's the thing I realized about this palette. It's actually not bad. The glitters in here, even though I'm not a big glitter person, are really pretty. But I started seeing this exact same palette by other brands. So it seemed like it was a private label that was a pre-made palette that the brands just put their name on it, which is fine. Some people like that. I don't mind. at all. And I thought the packaging was really pretty, but I just don't think I'm going to use it, period. So it is being decluttered. Then we have the JOA Drinks on Me palette. This was a Christmas release these last holiday in 2021 going into 2022. And it's not bad. It's just, I've got, like I said, 400 palettes. I have indie brands that are amazing. And it just isn't, it's not on par with them, we should say. But the mattes weren't terrible. The shimmers were a little bit dry and lackluster, but the mattes were definitely better. I do love JOA Beauty. I love their face products a lot and their lip products, but definitely eyeshadow is something that they could work on, but the packaging was really pretty. I mean, everyone raves about Patrick Ta, but here you have something that looks similar that was $14. So I do love Patrick Ta. I just, you know, I have to call out when I see things that are cheaper. The eyeshadows don't compare at all with Patrick Ta, but I'm just saying everyone thinks that packaging is so luxe, but JOA Beauty did it too for cheaper. Okay, we have the Profusion Ultraviolet palette. Again, not a bad palette. I do love Profusion. It's just some of these like special collections aren't quite as good as those other palettes. Just, actually that brown is fantastic, but okay, there's one shimmer in it or maybe two, and it just isn't that great. So, you know, I think it was $5, not a lot lost, but I'm letting it go. Then we have this one makes me sad. I thought this looked so pretty. And I remember sharing it on my Instagram in a reel, and someone else went out and bought it because they saw it. It's a Latte London, and it's a little face in eyeshadow palette, and it just looked gorgeous, but it just does not perform. It is no good. Okay, it is no good. I actually have their eyebrow pencil on right now. Latte London is like great for things like that, but just eyeshadow, I don't think is their thing either. So it's going bye-bye. All right, next we have the Rude New York Times Square palette with eyeshadow and blush. Actually, it's hard for me when I'm looking at this right now to give it up because it's really good. I mean, this bronzer in here was a decent shade. The shimmer was good. I like the tones of the blushes. The eyeshadows actually performed really pretty. I mean, look, that's like this middle one here. But I was trying to be picky because I have so much. I was trying to make room, and I do like this. It's making me sad to give it up now. I've had a whole like thing bigger than this full of Rude products to try out to do a whole full face because it's so inexpensive. I never hear anyone talk about them, and I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but I do plan on doing it one of these days. But their products are actually really nice. I have too much. Okay, this is a Persephone Ditto or Dido, I'm not sure what they go by, palette. I got it in an Ipsy bag. I have their Brick Owl palette that is beautiful shimmers. I mean, foiled, pigmented, buttery, amazing. This was really dry, and I have other palettes with similar tones in it, like my Desert Dust palette by Huda Beauty. So that's why I'm letting it go. I mean, I love the cover art. I think the color story is pretty. It doesn't perform that well. So decluttering that one. Then we have the That Beach Creme Shop palette. This is actually really pretty. I mean, look at that. Look at this one here. It's not bad at all. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to talk myself out of it. The reason why I'm giving it up is it did fade on me some. I created a pretty look with it, but I noticed that after a couple of hours, it didn't pack the punch that it did before, and I'm not really used to that. Most of my eyeshadows, when people say, oh, it lasts, I'm like, where does your eyeshadow go? Mine's fine. But that kind of happened with this one, so that's why I'm gonna let it go. But I really love Creme Shop's lip products. If you haven't tried them, they are really, really good, and I recommend them. I'm gonna probably want to talk myself out of this one too. This is a Wet n Wild. It was a limited edition In Love with Cocoa palette. It is a beautiful nude palette, actually. I mean, the shimmers were really nice in here, so are the mattes. I just here lately have acquired a lot more neutral palettes. I have the Patrick Ta, both of them. I have the new Nude Prism from Lunar Beauty. I have just too much going on right now with nudes, so that's why I'm giving it up, not because it was bad. I just had to make a choice. So it is really pretty though. All right, last for palettes, eyeshadow palettes, we have the Peachy Queen Tarot palette. This was a brand I randomly found, and they had their stuff super cheap and then an extra % off. And I want to say I got 4 palettes and a blush palette for like $25. I mean, insane, right? Well, the other palettes swatched pretty nice. They have some like marbled shades in there. This was the only one that was more of like, there's 2 pressed glitters and shimmers. I don't know. When I looked at the color story later, I'm like, I'm not really sure what I would do with this. Again, this was when I was just going crazy buying makeup, and I'm more selective now. So I thought I could go to someone else who might appreciate it more than I would. I decided I'm gonna make this into 2 parts. I'm just now deciding in real time. So I'm gonna do mascaras and eyeliners, more eye products, and then I'm gonna do a part 2 separate video that's gonna be face decluttering. Okay, so we'll move on to eyes. We have some primers here. We have the NYX eyeshadow base, little pot primer. We have a Too Faced Shadow Insurance, the She Glam primer, and then a Maybelline Master Prime shadow base. So this one used to be my ride or die. This is all I used to use. I don't know if it's just that it's expired because it is old, but I started noticing that none of my shadows would blend well with this. They would blend away. They would be patchy. So I thought maybe it's just that it is expired. So I'm gonna let it go. Then the She Glam wasn't bad. It's just kind of oily. It feels more like a concealer, to be honest. And so here it is here, but it's so smooth. I swear it would be a nice concealer for the under eye, but I just didn't feel like it did a lot for my eyeshadows. This Too Faced is so expired. I've had it back when I used to just order Too Faced all the time, which was several years ago. So I'm afraid to use it, but I do remember it being decent. This one's also very expired, but the concept is really cool and it's old. I don't know if they still sell this anymore, but I love how it's kind of this like metallic. It makes sense for shimmers. So if they still have this, I might try this again and try it with shimmers on top. Then we have some Profusion liners. These came in a set way back from TJ Maxx. They're just pencil liners that were a little bit dry, kind of tugged on the eye. They could also be old. It may not be the fault of the liner. It could just be expired, but I've really been into colored liners lately and have found some that I love so much that these don't make sense for me to keep. The Man Eater by Tarte. I thought it was just okay. Actually, same thing with the Stila one. It was good. The KVD, same thing. It's good, but I don't think they're as good as my She Glam liner, my NYX Epic liner, the Kokie liner. I think those are all better and cheaper. So I'm not convinced that higher end liners are any better than drugstore personally. So getting rid of this. Getting rid of Dragon Beauty. This came in Ipsy. It just kind of came out like a charcoal. It's supposed to be black. Wasn't opaque enough for me, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. This one by Seraphine Botanicals. They have beautiful face products, like mineral, all natural. Their blushes and highlighters are really pretty. The liner is just, it's not dark enough, not opaque enough, so getting rid of it. This CoverGirl liner was my ride or die for like 15 years. And I don't know if something about my eyes changed, maybe got more oily or dry, I don't know, or if they changed the formula, but it's just not as good as it used to be in my opinion, or not as good as, I love the Believe Beauty Caviar one. I use what's the other one I use all the time? Believe Beauty Caviar, oh, the Milano Stay Put liner. Those are my go-tos, and they're just better than the CoverGirl at this point for me. And that's it for liners. Then we will go on to these mascaras. So the Lash Paradise was their second one that they came out for L'Oreal, and it just didn't do anything for my lashes. I like the regular Lash Paradise. This one is not it. I don't know, it made my eyelashes flat. They wouldn't curl. I did not like it. These Essence ones, Lash Princess is my ride or die. I have it on right now. I don't have the best lashes. I don't have terrible lashes. They're just, you know, there. But they do benefit from Lash Princess a lot. These extreme ones, I just don't love the wands. They're too big. My eyelashes are thin. They're not thick. If you have really thick eyelashes, you might enjoy these, but that is not me. Then we have the SheGlam Double. This is a waterproof mascara. I'm just not a big waterproof girl. It's very, very rare that I need one. And it was okay. I remember it like came out and was like, everyone was trying it out. This is one of their first releases. And yeah, I think if you use waterproof a lot, you might like it. I just personally do not. Let's see. Then we have the Bobbi Brown mascara. Came in Ipsy. I love the wand shape. It just was so dry. Every mascara that comes in my Ipsy bags are dry to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's actually the formulas or if they're sending me ones that have been opened, but they never work for me. Smashbox Full Exposure. I did like this one. I think it's just a little bit expired. I've had it for a long time. I do like the wand a lot, but it's getting a little bit dry in there. And I did like it though. And then for eyebrows, we have this Eye Method Beauty, was sent to me a long time ago in PR when I first started Instagram. I like the little shape of the wand. It just wasn't the right color. It's very, very warm and light, and I like a darker, cool brow. But Eye Method has actually really good products on Amazon for eyebrows, liners, things like that. Last up for the eyes, we have these were gifted to me, not by Wet n Wild, by somebody, and they just, eyelashes have come a long way. These look very plastic. They don't look like actual like hair, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. But I mean, I love Wet n Wild for tons of other things, just maybe not these particular eyelashes. All right, you guys, that is it for the decluttering of the eyes. I will have a part 2 that will have face and some skincare and lips in there as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this decluttering video. Let me know what you thought about the palettes I decluttered, all of that. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.